So I've actually been writing things down in my little notebook. This is what I've been using to write down like YouTube video ideas and things like that to share with you guys. And sorry, I'm a little crooked. I kind of just have my phone set up on the table that I'm working at tonight. I am at work right now. But I was asked some questions about like interview tips for new CNAs. And so I have written down like a bunch of tips, a whole list, and I also have written down like sample CNA interview questions, and then I figure I can talk about the questions themselves, how to answer them, how not to answer them, and kind of let you guys know like some of the things that I said in my CNA work interviews to kind of further me in the hiring process, and just how some of the things that I said that I feel probably helped me get a couple of the positions that I have gotten. So I am going to talk about those things. So just hold on and let me get set up here. Okay, so this first video is going to be my interview tips, so that's what this video is going to be, and then I'll make a separate video talking about like the sample interview questions, how to answer them, how not to answer them, and talking about all of that stuff. So these are just going to be interview tips. So if you see me looking down, my notebook is down here. So tip number 1 would be to research the company or the facility that you are doing your interview at. Now, the reason why I say this is because I feel that it prepares you, and you know a little bit of information, at least general information about the facility or the company that you are applying to work at and interviewing for. I feel like it helps to know just a little bit of background information before you just jump right in and try to interview for the position. Some companies will actually ask you certain questions about their company during the interview, so it's good to be prepared and know what it is that you're talking about, and know the information about the company that you are interviewing for. It doesn't have to be super in-depth information, but just knowing like generally how many beds they have, what type of services they offer, like are they assisted living, do they have memory care, things like that. Tip number 2, and probably the most important, would be to dress appropriately. I can't tell you how many times I have gone into an interview and there are people who are wearing pajamas, flip-flops, slippers. It looks like they haven't washed their hair or done their hair in years. Make sure that you look professional, make sure that you look clean and neat. Like I said, don't go in there wearing pajamas, flip-flops, slippers. Make sure that you are dressed at least business casual. You don't have to go overboard and wear like a super nice dress or like a suit or something like that, but just business casual at least. My third tip would be to look up interview questions and practice. It might help to have a friend or family member like do a mock interview with you, to where they're asking you these questions and then you are answering them. I find a lot of like interview questions on glassdoor.com. A lot of people will upload like the questions that they've been asked in interviews at that specific company. Like when I am about to go into a job interview, I go on Glassdoor and I look at like what other people have said they've been asked in the interview. Sometimes they have interview questions for the company that I'm interviewing for, and sometimes they don't, but it's a good start. Number 4 would be let your personality shine and be confident. Even if, this is more geared toward new CNAs, but even if, this is your very first CNA job, be confident that you have been trained well enough to know what it is that you need to do, and just go in there and let your personality shine. If you are a very kind-hearted and caring person, which most people in this industry who really want to be in this industry are, show that. Even, like I said, even if all the clinical experience you have is from clinicals in your classes, that's okay. Just go in there and be confident that you can do this. And that will definitely make a difference in your interview. And it will show the interviewer that you got this. You've got a handle on it, and that even though this might be your first CNA job, you can handle it. My next tip would be to highlight your skills in your interview, even if, like I said, you've never worked a CNA job before. If you have had a job that is customer service related, then that definitely helps with this industry, because this industry is all about customer service. You're interacting with patients or residents, but it still comes down to customer service, because at the end of the day, the goal is to make them happy and make them comfortable and make sure that they're safe. So customer service is a big part. Like, I would say 95% of what we do is customer service. So like, even if you've worked at McDonald's or something like that, highlight that, make sure that you let it be known that you are good with your customer service skills. Number 7 is kind of maybe more on the job application side of things, not necessarily the interview. Use your clinical instructors as a reference, because your clinical instructors have seen you demonstrating your clinical skills, and that is really the only reference that people may have in regards to your clinical skills. So don't be afraid to ask your clinical instructors if they would be open to having you put them down as a reference for job applications, because that can definitely help. And I know when I got my first CNA job, and even now I still put my clinical instructor down as a reference, because she was the first one. She taught me, Another tip would be to be prepared to take a test, either a written test or an actual physical demonstration of the CNA skills, because I have gone to jobs before where they actually make you do both. During the interview, I've had a 3-page test, a written test where it asks you questions, kind of similar to the CNA state written test, but I've also had them ask me to demonstrate how to transfer someone with a gait belt and things like that. So make sure that you are confident in your skills, like I said, and just be prepared that that might be a possibility. They may ask you things like that, and they may have you take a test. And also, last but not least, if you are in nursing school or thinking about being in nursing school or going back to nursing school, anything like that, furthering yourself in the medical field, make sure that you mention it. A lot of places want people who are going to be in the field long term, because that means that you will be sticking around, at least in their eyes. Not that you necessarily have to stay at this facility that you're interviewing for, but it helps when people know that you are planning on being in the medical field for a long-term period of time. When I've gone to interviews, I definitely let them know that I'm in nursing school, because a lot of people need nurses to work for them. So when they find out that a CNA is going to nursing school, then they know, oh, well, you can transition to work for us as a nurse once you get your nursing license. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share with you guys some interview tips, because I've been getting asked that question quite a bit lately. And I hope this was helpful. If you guys would like more videos like this, let me know. Never hesitate to ask me questions. I am more than happy to share information with you guys. I'm not the type of person to hoard information to myself. So if I can help you guys in any way, make sure to let me know, and I will get a video filmed for you guys. But with that being said, that's all I have for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope it was helpful, like I said. And stay tuned for that sample CNA interview questions video. It will be coming soon. All right.